Welcome to the Brookmont Interfaith Service. In our time together, I would like us to talk about a part of the Hebrew Bible that was read during this past month. There was a special Sabbath called Shabbat Shira, Sabbath of Song. And the reason it's called that is because there's a very large song in this Torah portion, this portion of the Hebrew Bible. And you can see it if you lay out the whole Torah, which is all written in Hebrew. You can see exactly where that song is because it looks so different. The pattern of the words, it looks so different from everything else, from the narrative of the Torah. And so it's called Shabbat Shira. I would like us to talk about a small portion of the portion, and I'd like us to do more than talk, mostly sing, because this is Shabbat Shira. We start with a welcoming song that it was inspired by a poem by Rumi. And I want us to sing this because the week before Shabbat Shira, there is a line as the children of Israel are leaving Egypt. It says, "A mixed multitude went up with them," which means that other people who were not children of Israel came with them. And we don't know why they went out also, that this was their big opportunity for freedom, for liberation. But it's a lovely thought. Whether they came along because they had intermarried with the Hebrews, whether they came along because they themselves were enslaved, or because they liked the way these people lived, whatever their reason was, it was an opportunity for more than just the children of Israel, which I love thinking about that. And so we begin with this song that was inspired by the Rumi poem. It goes like this. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. One more time. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Welcome, welcome, welcome. A song that is often sung on Shabbat Shira is a song called Ilu Finu Malay Shira Hayam. It is, that means if our mouths overflowed with song as the sea. Now within this Torah portion, there is the part of the parting of the sea for the Israelites. And so there are quite a few water songs, water-themed readings done during Shabbat Shira. So we take this poem and we take one line from it to be the line that we sing over and over again, and yet we keep within us the entire feeling of where that one line came from. And what it came from is a gratitude song. Let me read you the entire reading. If we devoted all our energies to thanking you, if we thanked you beyond all our capacities, if our mouths overflowed with song as the sea, if our tongues surged with joy as the waves, if our lips could praise as endlessly as the sky, if our eyes could match the sun's radiance, if our arms had the reach of an eagle's wings, if our legs could carry us as far as the deer, even then, our thanks wouldn't come close to matching all the gifts you have given to our ancestors and us, to our mothers, to our fathers, and to us. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to just imagine this flow of gratitude just washing over us. The first thing I would like you to do is start at the top here, like a little bit above your head. Just putting your noticing sort of in the area above your head. And as this flow like water of gratitude comes over us, think about each part of your body, front and back, as it flows down, down, down. And give yourself the awareness of each part of your body as I sing the one line that symbolizes all of this gratitude song. And it's very fun because people in this melody, they fool around a little bit with the words. So instead of it being Ilu Finu Malay Shira Hayam, it is sung as Ilulu Finunu Malay Shira Hayam. Ilulu Finunu Malay Shira Hayam. All right, so let's start this imagining of gratitude for every bit of our bodies as I sing to you. And please join in if you feel like doing so. Ilulu Finunu Malay Shira Hayam. 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 Yes, even if our mouths overflowed with song as the sea, we couldn't say thanks enough for this body. Now, as we come up in our body awareness, imagine water coming up to splash up and flow over you as you think of all the people in your life that you have gratitude for, people that you actually interact with all the time, people that you know their name, you don't know their name, people from history, just all kinds of people, whoever comes to your mind. And even if our mouths overflowed with song as the sea, we would not be able to say the names of all the people that we owe our existence to. But let's give it a shot. Let's just flow with gratitude. So let's come up here. Ilulu Finunu Malay Shira Hayam. 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 And now let's think about all the things in nature that we are grateful for. All right, let's do it again. Ilulu Finunu Malay Shira Hayam. 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 And let us feel ourselves grounded with our feet on the ground, on the floor, and grateful for all of what is around us, for our homes, for those we love. Just a flow of gratefulness. Feel in your body where that gratitude fills you up. Try to remember that feeling. Try to take a feeling photograph of that feeling. So now, as the children of Israel and the multitudes who went with them were leaving Israel, we are told Moses took with him the bones of Joseph, who had exacted an oath from the children of Israel, saying, God will surely take notice of you, and then you shall carry up my bones from here. And so they are told to bring with them their ancestor. They bring with them the wisdom, the ability to survive, the resilience, the vision, and so many other ongoing gifts we have from our ancestors. And we will sing about it. I walk in the Spirit, I walk in the light, I walk through the darkest hours of night, and I call all my ancestors to my left and my right to walk with me, to walk with me. I walk in the Spirit, I walk in the light, I walk in the service of doing what's right, and I call all my ancestors to my left and my right to walk with me, to walk with me. I walk in the Spirit, I walk in the light, I walk with the knowledge that we'll be all right, and I call all my ancestors to my left and my right to walk with me, to walk with me. I walk in the Spirit, I walk in the light, I walk with my neighbors to fight the good fight, and I call my ancestors to my left and my right to walk with me, to walk with me. I walk in the Spirit, I walk in the light, I walk with the promise of healing inside, and I call all my ancestors to my left and my right to walk with me, to walk with me. I walk in the Spirit, I walk in the light, I walk for the children and their right to survive, and I call all my ancestors to my left and my right to walk with me, to walk with me. I walk in the Spirit, I walk in the light, I walk for the suffering, may we heed their cries, and I call my ancestors to my left and my right to walk with me, to walk with me. Yes, I walk in the Spirit, I walk in the light, I walk through the darkest hours of night, and I call all my ancestors to my left and my right to walk with me, to walk with me, to walk with me, to walk with me. That was called Walk With Me by Maggie Wheeler. All right, well, there they are. They're walking and walking through the desert, and the people come upon a great big sea, which some people call the Red Sea, some people call the Reed Sea, and they can't swim. You can think about that. They were slaves in Egypt. They can't swim. And they think that this incredible, exhilarating adventure might be over right here, right now, because they are blocked by the sea. And not only that, they can turn around and see behind them coming Pharaoh and his army. Pharaoh had changed his mind once again and was not going to let the children of Israel and the multitudes with them escape from Egypt. So they see this cloud and horses and all this coming, and there they are between that and the sea. And Moses says to the people, "Have no fear. Stand by and witness the deliverance which the Lord will work for you today. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will battle for you, and you can remain silent." Well, first of all, the word that Moses uses for stand by isn't really stand by, because stand by really has this feeling of readiness to it, right? You're standing by. It's actually a word that means hang out more, like relax, hang out. Stuff is going to happen for us. It's going to be done for us. You know, God does not like this attitude. And so it says right there in the Bible, the Lord said to Moses, "Why do you cry out to me? Speak to the children of Israel and tell them to go forward." And then God says, "Lift up your rod and your arm over the sea, and it will part." But Out of sight of Moses, the rabbis tell us that another story was unfolding, and that because of what happened in that story was really why the waters parted. So let me sing you that story. It is the story of Nachshon ben Aminadav. Nachshon, son of Aminadav. Nachshon ben Aminadav was just one face in the crowd. He was tired and he was hungry, scared but he was proud. He had walked across the desert to escape slavery, and now he's caught between his taskmasters and the waters of the Red Sea. Pharaoh and his armies were coming up from behind, and the Israelites were arguing. They were of two minds. Some said we should turn around, go back to what we know. Slavery can't be half as bad as drowning. You gotta take one small step. One small step, you gotta take one small step for freedom. You gotta take one small step. Ooh, one small step, you gotta take one small step for freedom. The other side, well, they were very few, said, no, this cannot be. We can't go back, we've come so far in fleeing slavery. If we just stay put, I think you'll find that God will make a move and a miracle will save us all. Just wait. You gotta take one small step. One small step. You gotta take one small step for freedom. You gotta take one small step. One small step. You gotta take one small step for freedom. No one noticed Nachshon over by the rippling tide. He had one foot in the water, his shoes at his side. He took one step, then another, until he could barely breathe. And just when the world went dark, the waters parted, and we were free. Because he took one small step. One small step you gotta take. One small step for freedom. Oh yes, he took one small step. One small step we gotta take. One small step for freedom. We gotta take one small step. One small step we gotta take. One small step for freedom. So the story of Nachshon ben Aminadav highlights that moment when God said, get going, participate. He's telling us that we have to participate in our own liberation, and then amazing things can happen. So Moses led everyone in a long song about freedom and victory and praising God when they get to the other side. And that's the song that you can really see the different pattern in the writing in the Torah. And right there, during that song, there is a story that the rabbis tell. It's called a midrash, a special little story inserted, just like the story of Nachshon was a story inserted in order to highlight something that we need to learn about. The Israelites and those with them came through on dry land because the sea parted. They reached the other side, and then while Pharaoh and his troops were down on the dry seabed, the water came back. The Israelites felt that they had victory. They felt safe. They felt that their incredible endeavor, this exhilarating adventure, was going to go forward, and they sang their song. But the story goes that in heaven, the angels also were dancing and singing and clapping and hooting and hollering. And God said to them, no, you will not celebrate. I understand why the children of Israel, why they are celebrating, because this was a matter of life or death for them. But you will not jump around and sing and clap hands, because do you not understand that even those who died under the water there, those Egyptians, they were my children too. And I love them too. And I am very sad that it had to come to this. And that's a beautiful story for us to remember the humanity of those who suffer, no matter how much we feel they ought to suffer, that they are still God's beloved also. So then, after this big song that Moses leads the people in, Miriam, the prophetess, took up her drum and led the women in dances and drumming and call and response songs. Well, there are two things amazing about that happening. First of all, this is the first time we hear Miriam's name. Why is that? Before then, she had saved Moses' life when she was his little sister and stopped him from drowning in the Nile, right? But now she gets her name mentioned, and she is given the title of prophetess. There are those who say, when your gifts meet the need of the world, you have found what was meant for you to do. And in this moment, Miriam's gifts meet the need of her people to celebrate, to have joy. And so there she is named. And the second thing we need to look at is, where did those drums come from? They just quickly, in great haste, left Egypt and took what they could. They didn't even have time for their bread to rise. It's still flat bread, right? Matzah, as we know it as matzah. Well, where did those drums come from? Those drums came from hope. We know that most probably something was left behind so that the woman could carry their drums. Maybe something was taken out of their packs in order to make room for the drums. And drums were given a priority. Gloria Steinem once said, hope is a kind of a plan. These women made their hope tangible by bringing their drums. They planned that joy and celebration would be part of their future. That is what their expectation was, that there would be things to be joyous about and to celebrate. That is truly, truly beautiful. And let me sing you part of a song about Miriam and those women. It is a song by Debbie Friedman. And I have my hand drum here with a picture of Miriam singing with the women. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced the whole night long. When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an outstretched hand, and we would pass to freedom and march to the promised land? And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her, just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song and sang with praise and might. We've just lived through a miracle, we're gonna dance tonight. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance the whole night long. Miriam and the women dance the whole night long. And now to be on the way to freedom, to be without the structures and strictness of Egypt. What will they do with their lives? They are becoming a community. This freedom, they need to think, what will they do with this freedom? And there's a song, a beautiful song called Tain Lo Mishalo, the music by Kara Zubrin. The Hebrew text comes from the Pirkei Avot, saying of the fathers. The English words here are words that I put to the tune. This song says, this all belongs to God. And their feeling of this liberation is this all goes back to God. And that there will be new songs to sing in this new state that we are in. As long as we sing them, we must participate. We sing these new songs. Each of us has a song. Tain lo mishelo she'ata v'shelach shelo. Tain lo mishelo she'ata v'shelach shelo. Singing the new songs. God has given life. This is God's precious gift to you. What you do with life then becomes your precious gift to God. Sing out your new song. Sing it clear and strong. We each hold a song. Tain lo mishelo she'ata v'shelach shelo. Tain lo mishelo she'ata v'shelach shelo. They traveled for 3 days, but they were unable to find water, and they needed to replenish their supply of water. They came to a place called Mara, but the water there was unusable. It was bitter, which is what Mara means, bitter. Moses cried out to God, and God showed him a tree. He threw it, or maybe took a branch of it, and touched the water. And when the tree touched the water became sweet. Some speculate that it was a branch from the tree of life. In any case, it made the difference between life or death for the people at Mara. I invite you now to settle into your chair and bring back that feeling of aliveness and overflowingness of gratitude. It's just such a good feeling that we generated in our bodies at the beginning of this service. Ilu Finu Malay Shirah Hayam. Bring that up. Check out your body. Check out any place that needs to be adjusted. And bring yourself into dignified relaxation. You may need a pillow behind you, whatever you need. We also make sure that our foreheads are not furrowed, our brow is not furrowed, and that our shoulders are down, that our hips are resting comfortably in our chair. Feet on the ground if that is the most balanced feeling for you. Some people need to cross their legs in order to feel balanced. Now you know where in your life you would like to lessen bitterness and move towards sweetness. You may bring that to mind. Close your eyes if that is comfortable for you. And I would like to share with you thoughts from a 13th century Catholic mystic, Mechtilde of Magdeburg. Here she is writing about prayer, and we can imagine that as the tree branch was dipped into the waters, it went with the sincere prayers of the people that a transformation would take place. See if something in this writing sparks a place you might begin to take a step from bitterness to sweetness in your life. Mechtilde writes, "That prayer has great power which a person makes with all his or her might. It makes a sour heart sweet, a sad heart merry, a poor heart rich, a foolish heart wise, a timid heart brave, a sick heart well, a blind heart full of sight, a cold heart ardent. It draws down the great God into the little heart. It drives the hungry soul up into the fullness of God. It brings together two lovers, God and soul, in a wondrous place where they speak much of love." Each of these difficult states can be transformed step by brave and loving step. A sour heart moves away from criticism and guardedness towards curiosity and gentleness. A sad heart finds the strength to lift in gratitude, to become merry. A poor heart recognizes that it is rich. A foolish heart learns to pay attention, to become wise. A timid heart finds it can be brave and frightened at the same time. A sick heart gets well by helping others. A blind heart opens to truly see themselves and others and their relationship to them. A heart that feels cold and disconnected can slowly allow warmth, connection, and passion for life back in. I invite you to take a moment to envision your first step no matter how small, towards sweetening your life. Think of Nachshon ben Aminadav, who surely did not know how to swim, yet took that first step. And like Miriam and her friends, plan, not just hope, but plan to have sweet joy. Envision your next step. Be assured that you are equipped to make transformation in your life. So let's take a minute, or you can stop the video to make more time for yourself. We end our service with a song that continues our connection to water that we have had throughout this entire spiritual exploration. It's an old song called Peace Like a River. When we sing it in Brookmont, we change the lines a little bit to reflect a teaching of Thich Nhat Hanh. We want to extend to all others any happiness that we have. We want to share that happiness. And we say, may all know peace like a river. May all know joy like a fountain. May all know love like an ocean. It's a matter of knowing, because he teaches that it's already there within us. There is already peace within us, joy within us, love within us. We need to know that. To have that revelation that it is already living within us. And that's why the words are sung the way they are in this song for us. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. May all know peace like a river, may all know peace like a river, may all know peace like a river in their soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. May all know joy like a fountain, may all know joy like a fountain, may all know joy like a fountain in their soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. May all know love like an ocean, may all know love like an ocean, may all know love like an ocean in their soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. May all know peace like a river, may all know joy like a fountain, may all know love like an ocean in their soul. Happy Sabbath of Song. It has been just lovely to sing through this part of the story of Exodus with you. Take good care of each other. Take good care of yourself. God bless you all.